Hello, I'm Eve from the University of Pennsylvania's English Language Programs. And today we're talking about the Duolingo English Test, the DET. In this video, we're going to talk about the structure of the DET. First, we'll talk about the introduction and test security. Then we'll talk about the second section of the test, the graded adaptive test. And finally, we'll talk about the ungraded video and writing sample. Let's start with the introduction. This section is only about 5 minutes long. And in this section, the candidate has a chance to set up their camera, speakers, and microphone. This is important because of the test security measures that Duolingo takes to ensure that the test-taking experience is valid and protected. Candidates should have their identification ready to show the computer camera. And identification could include a passport, a driver's license, or a government ID. This helps Duolingo be able to certify a score. It's also really important for candidates to make sure that they're in a location with strong internet. Any interruptions in internet service could result in Duolingo canceling the results of the test. Here are a few rules to know when taking the DET. You, as the test taker, must be alone. There cannot be another person in the room. The camera must be able to see your face clearly for identification purposes. Additionally, you as the test taker need to have your ears visible and uncovered. This is because the DET needs to ensure that the only sound you hear is the test itself. The testing area also needs to be empty. No phones, books, pens, or papers can be used during the test. And the good news is you don't need any of those items for the DET. It's important not to open any other computer windows or screens or get up from your chair at any point during the test. The camera must always be on you as the test taker. And finally, for the duration of the test, you should be continually looking at your computer. If any of these rules are broken, Duolingo may not certify the results, which basically means it could cancel the scores of that test. The second section of the test is the graded adaptive test. And in this section, a candidate's English language skills are evaluated through a variety of question types. So here, adaptive means that the questions are not set ahead of time. A question appears on the screen based on how the candidate answered the question before. So, if you as the test taker answered a question correctly, the test will then give you a slightly more difficult question. That continues for as long as you're answering questions correctly. If you answer a question incorrectly, then the difficulty level will decrease. This increasing and decreasing of difficulty means that you as the test taker are consistently getting questions that are targeted for your level. This is really different than other standardized tests used for a similar purpose. The graded adaptive test is the longest section of the DET, but it shouldn't exceed 45 minutes. And there are about 10 types of questions in the graded adaptive test. For example, in one type of question, you're given a list of words that are either written or spoken, and you have to identify which of those words are real English words. Another type of question is called the read aloud, where you have to read a sentence that's typed on the computer screen out loud for the recording. So the third and final section of the test is the ungraded video and writing sample. And here, ungraded means that your performance on this section, your responses, are not evaluated or included in the overall score or the subscores. It is, however, shared with colleges and universities. In this section, you as the test taker have two tasks, a speaking task and a writing task. For both tasks, you can choose the prompt from two options. For the speaking task, you have a window of 1 to 3 minutes to offer your response orally. And in the writing task, you have a window of 3 to 5 minutes to type your response. This entire section of the test is only about 10 minutes long. And again, while this portion isn't part of the score, it is shared with the colleges and universities to which you're applying. so that admissions committees have more information about your language abilities. So in conclusion, the Duolingo English Test, the DET, has 3 sections: the introduction, the graded adaptive test, and the final ungraded video and writing sample. All 3 sections can be completed in just under an hour. Thanks for checking out this video about the structure of the DET. You can find more videos like this on the Penn ELP YouTube channel.